over the weekend due to a water main break. There's the maintenance guy finally opening it up and let it all run out. Crews are now cleaning this mess up, and students are scheduled to be back in on Monday. More people getting involved in the redistricting fight, already involving California and Texas leaders. Rockland Republican Kevin Kiley pushing for a bill in Congress to stop any redistricting from happening. Gubernatorial candidate in California Steve Hilton, Republican, is expected to announce a lawsuit to stop redistricting efforts in California today. And tonight, National Night Out. The purpose of the campaign is to build a positive relationship between the police and the communities that they serve. At least 44 events are scheduled to happen in Greater Sacramento tonight. More, of course, happening throughout the region. Rob.
Okay, we're going to have some pretty nice weather for the most part. Sure, a little bit warm in the low 90s. Once you get way north of Sacramento, we're looking at mid 90s. But this is the last day of reasonable heat before we really start to crank it up tomorrow. We've got a very light delta breeze, so we're going to be in the 80s right around sunset. And there you go. Getting hotter, mid-upper 90s, but at least we're not looking at triple digits for now.
I bet it was going to be 100. You just couldn't put it up there.
It may change.
All right. Check this out. A woman who's inspiring some to rethink their career choices. She makes a living as a full-time crocheter. It's spelled crocheter, though.
Yes.
You can ask the flowers. I sit for hours.
Okay, so there it is. This 27-year-old Jenna Tattoo, originally a consultant from a Big Four firm. She did crocheting as a side hustle. Then 2 years ago, made the full-time jump back in January. She can create a cute plushie resembling virtually any animal that you would like. She was able to expand to full-time because she figured out a way to expand her business from just crocheting stuffed animals to building patterns that people could actually purchase and download to copy her designs stitch by stitch. We're going to get every fact in this story. Jenna says she has sold close to 75,000 patterns online. Look how quick she moves.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the suggestion box outside, but I suggested to management that we extend our show well into the 8 o'clock and just have a crochet circle.
You know, they listen to you because you're the chosen one around here. Let's not even kid about that. If you suggest something, they'll probably do it, as far-fetched as it may be. All right, we'll have much more to come.
We could knit.
ABC 10 Morning News at 7 starts now.
All right, thank you for joining us. We are streaming on ABC 10 Plus. I'm Walt Gray. You get all the high-quality news we've been doing all morning and weather with Rob, who wants to get in now because you're scheduled to, and you want to tell us about the warming temperatures that we're going to be dealing with.
You know, there's a benefit to hotter weather. I would say some of the outdoor projects that I've been putting off, I can legitimately say, starting maybe tomorrow, the next day, hey, it's just too hot. We're gonna do it.
Okay.
My safety is at risk
to
finish this. But that means you just got to do it earlier in the day, right? So we're going to be able to navigate the heat coming because it's not record-breaking, and we've only seen tastes of near triple-digit heat in recent memory. Now, this is the last day near 90 degrees for a while because I don't think we're going to near 90 on the nose until maybe the middle to the end of next week, so it's going to be a while. The sun's been up, we've been warming, but we're still in a nice cool phase early this morning with 50s and 60s. So today, widespread low 90s. Totally manageable, good stuff. We can be a lot hotter this time of year, and that's going to be later this week. Starting tomorrow, we're in the mid-90s, then near triple-digit heat to round out the week and at least part of the weekend. The weekend's going to be slightly cooler by Sunday compared to where we are for Thursday and Friday and Saturday, but at least it's a trend, and a trend we can look forward to going into next week. Slight delta breeze happening at the moment. We're not going to get much of that tonight, so that is going to be a warming trend in the evening. We've got 60 degrees for Sacramento, and notice over the last 24 hours, no activity at all for the High Sierra. Very busy last week, showers, thunderstorms, lightning, rain, hail, all of that has subsided, and we're not seeing much activity recently, and I don't expect anything today. There's our weak delta breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour, maybe some gusts up to 15, that's about it. So that's one of the reasons why we'll be a little bit warmer into the very early evening hours. As far as our forecast highs, we've got 90 degrees for Sacramento, 92 Manteca, 91 Modesto. This is just a little bit below our averages, basically what you can expect this time in August, but we're going above average starting tomorrow, and then we're going to be there for a while. Now, for a quick check on traffic, let's go ahead and talk to CHP Officer Trista Drake. Trista, good morning.
Hi, good morning. We are having some issues on the 50 corridor this morning. The westbound side is really slow as the commute traffic picks up onto the causeway there. And on the eastbound side, we do have two separate incidents. One at Enterprise, looks like a solo vehicle crash there. It's in the Gore Point. And then another one near Harbor Boulevard. And that's also a solo vehicle versus a sign. So again, the eastbound side starting to get a little bit busy as well. So be aware of that. It's really the only major slowdowns that I have here in Sacramento. No other major issues. So again, looking good otherwise. As you head down through Stockton, everything there is clear on 99 and 5, looking good. Modesto, we still have that closure in place. Highway 132 at Santa Cruz. It's complete closure there on 132 due to the investigation of a fatal crash. You'll have to take surface streets around that, so plan accordingly. And in the Tracy region, westbound 580 at Grant Line Road, we had the vehicle that was blocking the number 3 lane, and we're looking at over an hour commute right now from Tracy into Livermore, so definitely very slow in the Tracy region this morning as well. Walt, back to you.
All right, Trista, thank you. Yep, not good. All right, firefighters throughout California battling dry and warm weather, making prime conditions for fire activity. In communities stretching from northern to southern California, fires are burning hundreds of acres of land, putting many neighborhoods in danger. So this morning, CAL FIRE continues to battle the Gifford Fire, which is southeast of San Luis Obispo. That fire has burned 72,000 acres. Containment is only 3%. That's the same as yesterday. It has forced several evacuations, and Highway 166 remains closed. And closer to home, a local high school is safe this morning after a grass fire that happened in Lincoln. ABC 10's Gashpal Sangha drove out there to see how close it got and the message he got from crews.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It started off as just a spark near Highway 65, but in minutes, it was racing through dry grass towards homes and a school.
Other fires were happening in the area, which drew in those resources and kind of limited our attack in the very initial stage.
Lincoln Fire eventually put out the ranch fire at 140 acres with the help from agencies across the region. At one point, it was pushing dangerously close to 12 Bridges High School.
So it gave us a cause for concern, but we did have a lot of units that responded. We also had a helicopter that came and made some aggressive drops at the head of the fire.
Thick smoke and flames had teens worried. And yes, they have permission from their parents to be on camera.
It was like super like dark and gloomy and all that stuff. Flames like, I don't know, 8-10 feet tall and then just smoke way up in the air. One of my friends like called me and told me that the school was on fire. So I kind of freaked out because I'm supposed to go here.
And this is the closest the fire got because crews were worried about how close it was getting to structures, and because on the other side, that is 12 Bridges High School.
I came down and saw all the smoke around there going, God, I hope that's not my garden going up. Well, the kids worked their tails off, and we got corn that's it's 6 feet, 8 feet tall now. Well, garden goes on.
And with the summer heating up, crews say the cooler July we just had should not be fooling anyone.
We're at kind of the peak of the summer season. It's just going to get worse from here with the fuels that we have on the ground until the rain starts coming. The importance of mutual aid relationships. We could not have done this by ourselves. So it's very important that we make sure we train with all of our surrounding agencies. Because of those relationships, it was a very well executed fire.
Reporting in Lincoln, Garge Paul Sunga, ABC10.
And with warming temperatures in the forecast this week, police want to remind you not leave people or pets in hot cars, especially children. And even if you think this won't happen to you, parents and caregivers are encouraging to remember the acronym ACT. A stands for avoiding leaving a child unattended. C stands for creating a reminder that works best for you. And T stands for taking action right away. If you do see a child in a car, don't try to figure out how long they've been in the car. Call 911 immediately. This important reminder comes after a child just over 1 year old died from being left in a hot car over the weekend in Grass Valley County. That's despite life-saving efforts. The child was pronounced dead at the scene. The child's death is under investigation. Just last week, students at McNair High returned to school, but today those students will be learning remotely. That's right. It's because the school is flooded. Check this out. Maintenance worker, always trying to find the right key. There you go. Door open, flood ensues. Water main break. Lodi Unified says it caused throughout the main building of the school to be flooded. They'll be spending the week cleaning this place up and hope to have students back in class at McNair High next Monday. Today marks the 42nd annual National Night Out. Purpose of that campaign is to build a positive relationship between the police and the communities that they serve. Let's get to ABC10's Candace Red. She's got the plan, and she's in Natomas. Candace?
Hey Watt, good early morning to you. The sun has finally risen and we're getting a great look here at North Lake Community Park. Not too many people out right now. It's pretty quiet, but you know what? It's going to be a different story later on tonight. That's because the Sacramento Police Department is getting ready for National Night Out. This is where one of at least 44 events will be happening. Right now, you're looking at video of celebrations from the years past. You know, National Night Out, it's all about bringing the police and community together. It happens every single year. It typically includes block parties, picnics, festivals, parades, and so many other community events. You know, it's also a chance for people to just simply get to know their law enforcement officers much better, connect with neighbors, and also help raise awareness about crime prevention. Well, Sacramento Police told us that officers partner with communities year-round, not just during National Night Out, to better serve all. And police work with churches, organizations, community advocates, local businesses, and so many other groups. Take a listen.
We're able to work with our community, get a better understanding of what is going on as Sacramento continues to grow. We're able to reach out to a lot of different community members throughout the city and get that better understanding of, you know, how we can provide the best service possible and what our community really needs and wants from us to do that.
National Night Out started back in 1984 and grew over time. More than 38 million people have already registered to attend some type of event this year. As I mentioned earlier, there are 44 events happening right here in good old Sacramento. Taking a look at your screen, this is one of them. Hampton's Community Foundation is holding a National Night Out event today at North Lake Community Park. Again, that's where we're standing right now. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's actually one of the biggest National Night Out celebrations in Sacramento. You know, last year, nearly 3,000 people showed up. The best thing about it, it's free and open to all. Coming back out to you live to give you another beauty shot of this park. You know, if you do plan on coming out tonight, just know that you can expect a lot of fun activities for the kids. There's going to be some food trucks, a chance to meet first responders. That even includes the police chief, Kathy Lester, with the Sacramento Police Department. And then, of course, there's going to be some other state and city leaders as well. We have all this information on our website. That's abc10.com/links. There you will find details about this event happening tonight at this park, along with other national night events, because Walt, there's so many out there when it comes to celebrations tonight. For now, live in Sacramento, Candace Red, ABC10.
You're right about that, Candace. It's all throughout the region, and I know Kathy Lester is going to be busy tonight. All right, thank you, Candace. Elsewhere, Texas Republicans continue to push to redraw maps. President Trump hoping to boost the amount of Republicans in Congress ahead of the 2026 midterms. The plan has brought on pushback from Democrats, including Governor Newsom, who continues to push for California to redraw its maps. Governor says he's working with the legislature to develop the maps, but in a press conference yesterday, said it all hinges on what happens in Texas.
The proposal that we're advancing with the legislature has a trigger. Only if they move forward to dismantling the protocols that are well established would the state of California move forward in kind, fighting, yes, fire with fire.
Texas Democrats left the state Sunday night, stopping a vote that would have happened yesterday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott now threatens to arrest and expel state lawmakers if they don't return to the Capitol in Austin, but he can't arrest lawmakers without federal intervention. As this battle between governors and state lawmakers does play out, Rockland Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley stepping in with a proposal of his own. He announced a bill yesterday that, if passed, would prevent all states, including Texas, from redistricting before the census.
I think it's a very bad move. It's a very unhealthy thing for democracy in our state, and my bill would make sure it doesn't happen.
Kevin Kiley would likely be impacted by any redistricting in California. He won his district in 2024 with 55% of the vote. His district stretches in rural areas across the California-Nevada border from Lake Almanor to Death Valley. The redistricting is also drawing in threats of litigation. Republican gubernatorial candidate for California, Steve Hilton, says he'll announce a lawsuit against the Newsom administration this morning regarding the redistricting efforts. We'll have more on the lawsuit once it is formally filed. Coming up on ABC 10 Morning News here on The Plus, nuclear reactors on the moon, the logistics behind the president's new plan and how it could lead to more conflicts on Earth. Mark.
Hey, also coming up, Freaky Friday just got freakier. Freakier Friday opens Friday. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan return. Jamie Lee Curtis talks to me about the new additions to the movie and her NorCal roots. We'll be right back.
This morning, Americans are feeling the strain of higher prices on everyday items.
The prices seems to go up every week, every month.
The price is killing me. Instead of saving money in my bank account, I'm using it in groceries.
A new poll finds 53% of Americans say the cost of groceries is a major source of stress for them right now.
One thing that really stands out in the data is that only 14% of Americans say the cost of groceries is not a source of stress for them right now.
And 4 in 10 people under age 45 say they're using buy now, pay later services to cover essentials like groceries and medical care. Many are looking for new ways to save. This mom connecting with the so-called crazy coupon lady. Some of her tips: eliminate grocery delivery services, buy in bulk for staple items, and use your grocery store's app for added savings.
We actually think that you can lower your expense by $350 a month or $4,200 a year.
With President Trump's trade war ramping up, new tariffs are set to go into effect. Economists say prices will likely keep rising on everything, from produce to electronics and cars. Despite Friday's jobs report showing a substantial slowdown in the labor market, stocks bounced back yesterday thanks to encouraging corporate earnings and investors anticipating an interest rate cut next month. President Trump has said the tariffs will boost U.S. manufacturing and add billions to the U.S. Treasury, but concerns about higher costs have some families racing to finish back-to-school shopping early. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Time now for dollars and cents, and house hunters getting a bit of a break. Mortgage rates have dropped to their lowest levels in 10 months. The average rate for a 30-year mortgage now down to just under 6.6%. The slide coming after last week's weaker than expected jobs report, but potential home buyers are still facing record high home prices. Both Toyota and Honda are expected to report weaker sales this week. Experts think Honda will show profits down 31% in the latest quarter compared to last year. Honda could report a 36% slide. Both companies wrestling with the president's tariffs on foreign-made cars and car parts. With a trade deal in hand between the U.S. and the EU, the European Union is putting its own retaliatory tariffs on hold for 6 months. The latest agreement still leaves a lot of open questions, including what the tariffs might mean on European alcohol. And a first for Martha Stewart, the 84-year-old lifestyle guru, launching her first skincare brand. The line, which includes a serum and oral supplements, will be available next month. All right, let's check on the Dow. Speaking on the volatility of the markets the last few days, when we last visited at about 6:37 a.m., the markets were up over 100 points, and now they're down about 140 points. So we'll continue to follow it at 11. And as the White House looks to establish a presence on the moon, one pressing question is, where would the power come from? NASA appears to have found an atomic answer. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
The space race is back, and this time it's nuclear.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
But not like that. Acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy is set to announce the agency is fast-tracking plans to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. Documents obtained by Politico reveal NASA will solicit proposals for a 100-kilowatt nuclear reactor that would launch to the lunar surface by 2030.
And we're going back to the moon in order to learn to live, to work, to survive.
NASA has made returning to the moon and establishing a lasting human presence there a top priority. Power is key to building bases, supporting crews, and staying long-term. And with 14 days of darkness on the moon each month, solar power won't cut it. So the race is on to be the first to bring power to the moon. The directive warning, if other countries manage to build a reactor first, they could declare a keep-out zone, which would significantly inhibit the United States. China and Russia currently have a joint plan to bring a reactor to the moon by 2035. A senior NASA official saying it is about winning the second space race. The UK is already working on its own lunar reactor, partnering with Rolls-Royce to build a miniaturized system that could support humans on the moon.
It's a very small reactor that we can absolutely launch into space, so it's about the size of a car, and it allows us to give continuous energy and electricity. When you've got the sun, you can use solar, but if you want to explore the dark side of the moon and go around the other side, actually you're going to need something else, so the nuclear power allows you to do that.
Andrew Dembert, thank you. Coming up, we'll have a look at all the top stories we're following to help get you out the door. Stay with us. We hope. This is an ABC10 morning news update. I'm Walt Gray. Firefighters reminding us we're still in peak fire season despite the cooler July temperatures we had. This comes after a fast-moving grass fire along Highway 65 in Rockland was stopped yesterday. It caused 12 Bridges High School to close down temporarily, burning about 140 acres before forward progress was stopped. Students at Lodi Unified's McNair High School will be learning remotely for the rest of the week. The first floor of the school's main building flooded over the weekend due to this water main break. Crews are now cleaning up. Students are set to return to high school Monday. Tonight, National Night Out. The purpose of the campaign to build a positive relationship between the police and the communities they serve. At least 44 events are reportedly scheduled to happen in Sacramento tonight, many more across towns and cities in our region.
All right, we are off and running into another mostly great day. Sure, it's going to be a little warm in the afternoon as our highs approach us right around 4 to 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're going from the 50s and 60s to numbers that are fairly reasonable. This is a little bit below average, to be honest with you, but it is warm. If you're outside doing things, it's 91 degrees in, say, Elk Grove or Modesto, it's going to feel warm out there. We're only getting a light delta breeze, and the issue with this is that means we're going to be in the 80s until sunset and a little bit beyond. So that nice big rush of cooling wind not happening in a large way later on this evening. We've got mid-90s showing up tomorrow. Then we're going to be mid-upper 90s and very close to triple digits going into the weekend with some cooling going into next week. A lot of volume traffic and a couple crashes in West Sacramento where it merges with 80 and Biz 80 and 50 and the Causeway as well. So watch out for that. Stockton, you're okay. Tracy's very slow this morning.
Thank you for joining us on ABC10 Plus. I'm Walt Gray. Turbulence, one of the most common airline accident types today, according to the National Transportation Safety Board. ABC10 contributor Michael Yoshida now tells us more about what's behind the rise of trouble in the sky.
25 people taken to hospitals after a Delta flight experienced severe turbulence, causing service carts and unbelted passengers to hit the ceiling and forcing an emergency landing.
Today, there is 41% more severe clear air turbulence in the skies over the USA, 55% more over the North Atlantic.
Atmospheric science professor Paul Williams says Earth's warming temperatures are making flying conditions worse. That's especially true along busy flight paths, which are near powerful winds in the upper atmosphere called jet streams.
Climate change is warming the air to the south of the jet stream a lot more rapidly than the air to the north of the jet stream.
Williams says the clashing of increasingly warmer and cooler air is causing more frequent and more severe clear air turbulence, which can't be seen on radar and isn't connected to other visual cues like storms or clouds, meaning it can seemingly hit out of nowhere.
A stronger jet stream has what we call more wind shear in it. That's the wind speed increasing with altitude, and more wind shear equals more turbulence. So that's the link from temperatures to the jet stream, to the winds, to the turbulence.
According to the National Transportation Safety Board, between 2009 and 2018, flight crews had no warning in about 28% of turbulence-related accidents. Williams, who has studied the topic for more than a decade, says the numbers will keep going up. Still, he and others say flying won't be any less safe, and new technologies could help, from better forecasting models to even artificial intelligence.
Keep the seatbelt on if you're not walking around the plane. That's what they say to do for safety reasons. And new on streaming, the latest reports from the Coast Guard say the Titan submersible disaster that killed 5 people on board was preventable. Investigators found that the submersible's design, certification, maintenance, and inspection process were all inadequate. A Coast Guard statement said Ocean Gate, the company that owned the Titan, had a toxic workplace culture, and its mission was hindered by a lack of domestic and international framework for submersible operations. In 2023, the Titan was on its way to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. The submersible's disappearance led to a search that grabbed worldwide attention. Well, no one will even notice today is predicted to be slightly less than 24 hours by more than 1 millisecond. Rob actually knows this stuff. Shorter days have occurred a few times this year already. Scientists say the reason is that the Earth is spinning faster, likely due to changes in the Earth's core and atmospheric influences. The shortest day of this year so far, July 10th. The shortest day ever was July 5th of last year by 1.66 milliseconds. The discrepancies, though marginal, could eventually affect computers, satellites, and telecommunications that rely on precise timekeeping. So there you go, Rob. I guess you were right. Whatever it is.
I did not know that. I did not know that. Believe it or not, I don't know everything, as my wife loves to point out to anybody who'll listen.
Yes, indeed. She does do that. That's a true story.
Kids, don't listen to your dad.
Yeah.
All right, we've got some beautiful weather for the most part. It's all about summer heat, and at this point, we've been kind of avoiding it. It's been almost here. We've had a number of neighboring states deal with extreme heat. Huge wildfires in Arizona. East Coast has had a blistering summer so far, but for us, we've been in a very quiet spot. Lots of 80s, but we're going to start to creep back into real summer weather here very, very soon. Today's the last day right at 90, and then we're going to be 90 and above for a while. I still have to reflect on July just for a second here. You know, weather's all about today and looking forward, but look. This last July that we just went through only had 1 day of triple-digit heat. Last July was nasty from the beginning to the end with 16 days of triple-digit heat. And that was just in the month of July, where we usually only have about 5 days. The lows were warm, the highs were extremely hot. Folks, it was just a nasty July last year. So we were rewarded. We definitely got paid back with the good fortune of last July. So how is August going to pan out? So far it's been okay, but we're absolutely going to be warming up. I just want to point out one thing. The pattern is a simple one. We've got high pressure, dry, settled weather with a warming trend, but one that I think we're going to be able to manage. And when I looked up the days until fall, I think we all, at this point in summer, we're trying to figure out when it's actually going to be over. It feels like it's winding down because kids are going back to school. The days are getting a little bit shorter. It's not as hot, at least it feels like it, but we're going to be hit on the head with heat very soon. But we've got 48 days left of official summer until the fall equinox. And then even then, the very first day of fall tends to be kind of warm with highs in the upper 80s. At least that's the average. We've got 60s out there right now. We're looking at highs in the low 90s. So it's going to be a reasonably manageable day. One big difference that I've been pointing out all day today is that we are going to get a delta breeze, but it's 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's kind of weak as far as delta breezes go, which means we're looking at 80s by about sunset. So you can actually visually see it right here. Boom. It's just a little bit that's going to happen, and then it goes away fairly quickly. So overall, this is going to be one of the nicer days over the next 10. We're hitting the mid to upper 90s for tomorrow. And then we're going to be very close to 100 degrees for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Now, here's the deal. Many of you, if you get a delta breeze, upper 90s. If you don't, if you're higher up in elevation or well north or south of that region, we're essentially looking at 100 degrees or 101 or so between Friday and Saturday. So that's just something, unfortunately, that we're going to have to deal with before we get into a long-range cooling pattern going into next week. But even then, only low 90s. Okay, that's a check on weather. For traffic, let's go ahead and check in one final time with CHP Officer Trista Drake. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. And we're still pretty slow going on the westbound side of 50 as you make your way onto the causeway, as well as westbound 80 getting onto the causeway. We did have a couple earlier incidents. One of them is cleared, but we still have a crash westbound 80 on the causeway there. Everything moved off to the right shoulder, but again, seeing that slowdown as you make your way into the Davis region. Other than that, though, Sacramento actually looking really good. We're in pretty good shape. Out on surface streets, though, Arden at Fulton, we are getting reports of a vehicle versus pedestrian crash there with emergency crews responding, and we'll keep you posted on that one as well. As you head down through Stockton, southbound 5 at Alpine, we do have reports of a hazard blocking the slow lanes. Use some caution there. And in Modesto, northbound 99 near Jacktone Road, another collision there. Those vehicles have been moved off to the right shoulder, but a little bit slow until you hit that 120 connector. Back to you.
Trista Drake, thank you so much. There is a controversy brewing in Stockton this morning. ABC10 has obtained emails indicating the Stockton City paid Adventist Health Arena $50,000 in order to avoid canceling a show that the vice mayor performed in. The emails are between staff in City Hall and officials with the organization that operates the arena. In the emails, arena officials warned city staff that the promoters of the comedy show Wet and Wild, or actually Wild and Out, were considering canceling due to low ticket sales. The arena then paid the promoter $100,000, then asked the city to fill the remaining $50,000. The particular event at the arena involved Vice Mayor Jason Lee, who said he helped bring the thing to Stockton.
This really whole week has been about a political witch hunt to prove somehow that the vice mayor conspired with city staff to go in the bank accounts to give $50,000 to a brand that lost $170,000 on top of the $50,000 in an approved fund that they have used in the past.
The funding caught the attention of the interim city manager last week. Records show he sent an email to the economic development director asking for clarification and raising questions about oversight and how that $50,000 was used. After over 3 decades, Rancho Cordova's grocery outlet Bargain Market is set to close its doors. A liquidation sale is underway at the store at the corner of Zinfandel and Folsom Boulevard, Rancho Cordova. The location plans to close permanently because of an expiring lease. Right now, grocery, deli, meat, produce, wine, and beer 20% off. General merchandise and health and beauty 30% off. The store opened in 1989. It will close on the 23rd of this month. Now to an issue that has sidelined summer fun for so many families across the area. Invasive golden mussels have been spreading up and down the state since first being discovered in North America about 10 months ago. Here's ABC 10's Gabriel Porras visiting the area where they were first discovered.
Near a closed-off dock Monday, just waves away from the heart of Stockton's ports. Just like that. Local leaders touring the heart of a now statewide problem.
Those are some pilings that were recently pulled probably a few weeks ago that have big mats of golden mussels attached to them.
The invasive golden mussel species detected for the first time in North America right here near the port of Stockton last October. Since then, a state map shows they've traveled as far south as LA County.
We're learning a lot about them, what they like to attach to, the amount of light that they like. This is a new environment for them. The fear is that they could clog water intakes throughout the area.
27 million Californians depend on water from right here, and all that water is at risk. We need more resources.
Meanwhile, inside a lab in Davis,
the treatment, we'll have to figure it out.
A team of scientists is already on it.
Yeah, so we look for naturally occurring
microorganisms, natural products to control invasive species.
Pam Marone leads the group at the Invasive Species Corporation. They already have a product that deals with other types of mussels.
And we're adapting that to control the golden mussels. And we have tested it here in our lab, and we're getting very high kill of the mussels, golden mussels, but at a higher dosage than the zebra and quagga mussels. These are really hardy, which makes me worry.
Also worrisome is that the team's current product is designed for pipes and small areas.
For large water bodies, that would be the Generation 2 product, which we would be hoping to have out next year.
A disruptive species looms below the surface, but there is now hope on the horizon.
It's really important to prevent it from spreading further because of the destruction that it does cause.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC10.
They're also a delicacy if you steam or cook them with a nice white wine sauce with garlic. A warning this morning for visitors at a popular state park in the Bay Area. Cornell Bernard now has more on problems being caused by a rising number of yellow jackets.
This has been a perfect place for the 3 generations of family that are here.
Paul Milne from Richmond is spending a long summer weekend camping at Samuel P. Taylor State Park with his kids and grandkids. Unfortunately, there are party crashers. A few uninvited guests, too.
We have had a lot of wasps this year.
The wasps live here. I suppose we're their guests.
Wasps or yellow jackets are swarming. Jessica Milne-Kahn says it's especially bad during mealtimes.
With the youngest kid, it's more concerning. He's curious about them and they're curious about him, and you know that could end badly.
It's gotten so bad the state park is warning visitors on its website about increased wasp activity. The park will accommodate campers by relocating them away from nests if needed. Recently, not 1, not 2, but 3 yellow jacket nests were found around this toppled tree here in the park. Yellow tape is now up, warning the public to stay away.
On average, this year we've been doing between 250 and 400 yellow jacket calls a week. So it's been a lot.
Peter Bonkrud from Marin, Sonoma Mosquito and Vector Control District says the increased activity is happening beyond the state park, with many areas of the North Bay feeling the buzz. But why is it happening?
We're also seeing an elevated amount of yellow jacket nests and active yellow jacket nests, likely attributed to abundant food sources, and as well as kind of a more moderate winter.
State parks and mosquito vector control offering these yellow jacket safety tips. Do not disturb nests. Refrain from swatting at yellow jackets. Use lids on sweetened drinks and keep garbage away from eating areas. And inspect food before eating when dining outside.
Look at your food before you eat it. Just make sure nothing's in there that could hurt you.
For now, these campers keeping calm and carrying on.
We just keep a watch. Nobody's been stung.
All right, Cornell, thanks. Coming up on ABC 10 Morning News, a major payday for a former Sacramento King. How his new contract compares to, say, Steph Curry's. Mark?
It's getting freaky in here. Freakier in here. Hard to believe Freaky Friday opened 22 years ago. Now the sequel returns. Lindsay Lohan back and better than ever. So is Jamie Lee Curtis, and more people have been added. Coming up in a couple of minutes, Jamie Lee Curtis and I sit down to talk about that and her NorCal roots and clothes. welcome back to ABC10. Thanks for watching on the ABC10 Plus app. I want to talk about not Freaky Friday, but the sequel, Freakier Friday. Though to get to that, we should start back in the day. Flashback 22 years, Jamie Lee Curtis when she discovers right there and then she has switched body with her daughter. Or is it her daughter realizing she switched place with the mom? Yeah, it gets complicated, even more complicated in the new one. Take a look at Freakier Friday. They are back. Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing as always. Lindsay Lohan looks better and healthier than ever and is crushing it comedically in this. I can't wait for you to see it. Some new people have been at it. Now Lindsay Lohan has a daughter. She switches places with her. Jamie Lee Curtis switches place with her soon-to-be step-granddaughter. Have I complicated it? Yes. I sat down with Sophie, the granddaughter, and Jamie Lee Curtis. For the most part, Jamie Lee Curtis and I caught up. She first of all started complimenting me on my clothes and I think incorrectly testing out some slang. Take a look.
Well, no, but seriously, you can throw it down a little bit. You've been known to, you know.
Thank you for that.
You've been known to eat, and that means it in a really good way.
Like you ate down.
You ate.
You ate.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that.
This.
Slang.
I love that you're saying this.
I'm now never gonna. I'm gonna go home and I'm saying to my husband, who's not gonna be dressed like you, honey, you ate, and he's gonna say, yeah, I know, I had dinner. Anyway, sorry.
Good to see you again.
And you.
This is not our first dance. I see Jamie Lee more than my own family for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It's been a blessing.
We're seeing each other almost every year lately.
We were in this hotel 22 years ago talking about this very thing.
I know.
You did it in this hotel?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, this is the
This
Joan
is the
Kidd
hotel.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
So for you, I can ask you somewhat unique questions from this side because I also met your mom. We did a dedication ceremony,
yes,
your sister, you and I in
yes,
Stockton.
yes.
So this has to mean a little bit more to you to be doing a product that unites families in this way.
Well, I mean, that's the point of, for me, that's the real point of art, particularly art that has any sort of connective tissue for relatability, family, and it's what Disney, did the Disney brand, right? Heart, humor, the beautiful combo platter of the two really yields a Disney movie. And yes, it's very important to me. It was important to me that we shoot it in California. It was important to me that we make it with Lindsay, and we had to wait for Lindsay to be old enough to be able to be a mom of a teenager. And we just got really lucky. We also got to make this last June. We were just talking about it last June, July. And then the fires happened in January of this year. Burnt the house that we shot the original movie 22 years ago in, that we shot our movie in last summer, and the Altadena pickleball place burnt. And so there's also, it feels very beautiful, sad, and a beautiful tribute to the city of Los Angeles. And so it does feel connective.
It is a tribute to Los Angeles. And, it's sad news that the house that they shot the original in and the sequel and the Pickleball Palace, where a big scene takes place in, no longer with us, but immortalized in this movie, at least, and its predecessor.
And you had a point of reference there to her mother?
Yeah.
Of course.
Janet Leigh grew up in Stockton.
Janet Leigh grew up in Stockton, and her dad was Tony Curtis, one of the Rat Pack great actors and all that. So you could do probably a half an hour to an hour just on all of that.
We did do that. There's an entire half-hour takeover for Take a Look Friday at 9:30, and Rob was very concerned that I didn't let Sophie talk in that. In the special, she does a lot of talking. We just didn't get to it there.
Did he was really concerned about that?
We did.
Okay.
Am I lying?
I just felt bad for her.
He was a little concerned.
Don't feel bad.
Okay.
And I'm going to watch the show.
And back to Lindsay Lohan. She looks great. She's a big part of the special. She's coming up later this hour.
And healthy and doing well.
And like you, she ate.
She ate. Y'all ate. Okay.
You ate.
Let's eat. Okay. Thank you, Mark and Rob. A former Kings All-Star just signed on to one of the biggest contracts in the NBA in history. It's De'Aaron Fox. Going to get $229 million the next 4 years with San Antonio. Traded from the Kings last year. Now will play alongside Victor Wembanyama, who's the next thing. Fox will make $57 million a year, making him one of the highest players in the league. Steph Curry makes $59 million. So Fox is right behind him. Steph has a few rings. Meantime, A's fans can celebrate Nick Kurtz. Rookie was named American League Rookie and Player of the Month after a month of July where he had a historic 4-home run game. According to ESPN, he's currently the favorite to win the American League Rookie of the Year award. New on ABC10 streaming, we're telling you about a man with a noble mission, climbing the tallest mountain in every state. The reason? To raise awareness about brain cancer after he survived a diagnosis. ABC10 contributor Mariah Congedo has the story.
It was a massive shock to me, especially when you had a lot of big plans for your future and everything just totally shifts at once.
Just over a year ago, Ryan Simpson had his first of several seizures.
Never in my life did I think I had anything wrong.
He'd come to find out they were caused by a brain tumor.
It's a hard thing to hear about, especially at 24.
The second surgery Simpson had was about 10 months ago. His tumor was fully removed. The biopsy report declared it cancerous.
I've been seizure-free and life's just gone on as normal.
But that's not to say there aren't many downs.
Some days I'll have really bad days, but since I've started doing this journey that I've started, it's gotten way better than it was that post-diagnosis period.
With an urge to do something he loves while raising awareness about cancer, Simpson set a major goal.
There's something about just being up there that it feels like real living.
He's climbing the tallest peak in all 50 states and documenting it along the way to show people their diagnosis doesn't define them.
My focus is on just showing people in a similar situation that they could still do what they want as long as their body will let them.
This summer, Simpson checked off 11 states. The highest so far was a mountain in Arizona, more than 12,000 feet tall.
It was one of the coolest days of my life.
Simpson says brain cancer is one of the least talked about and funded cancers. He's hoping to change that.
It does seem like I'm really affecting some people's view of life and hopefully influencing people to just chase their dreams.
Great story, thank you. Coming up, we'll have top stories we're following, plus another look at your weather and traffic to get you out the door. This is an ABC 10 news update. I'm Walt Gray. Firefighters are reminding us we're still in peak fire season despite the cooler temperatures. All this after a fast-moving grass fire along Highway 65 in Rockland was stopped yesterday. causing 12 Bridges High School to close down temporarily. It burned about 140 acres before forward progress was stopped. Students at Lodi Unified McNair High School will be learning remotely for the rest of this week. The first floor of the school's main building flooded over the weekend due to a water main break. Crews are now cleaning up, and students are set to return to McNair High on Monday. More people are getting involved in the redistricting fight, already involving California and Texas leaders. Rockland Republican Kevin Kiley pushing for a bill in Congress to stop any redistricting from happening. Gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton is expected to announce a lawsuit to stop redistricting efforts in California today. Rob.
Okay, I've got your weather and traffic covered. It is 7:57 this morning, and we've got some pretty decent weather for the most part today. Starting off in a very familiar spot, 50s and 60s, a great way to start the day, along with good air quality. And then we're going to be looking at highs in the low 90s. What's interesting about this is that this is still technically below average and a reasonable amount of heat before things really start to ramp up tomorrow. The first sign that you'll notice is tonight, not much of a delta breeze, so we're going to be warmer into the evening, having a tough time cooling down overnight, and then it's clear as day where we're going. Mid to upper 90s starting tomorrow through at least part of the weekend. Long range, we get back to those low 90s, but not to the middle to the end of next week. By the way, the 98s that you see here, that's just an average. Some of you on the east side of the valley or well north or south of Sacramento will very likely get close to, if not hitting, 100 degrees or 101. Traffic around Sacramento, I mean, what can I say? It's just not good. There's just a lot of cars on the road. It's a Tuesday, so there's more volume, and there's a couple crashes as well. 99 between Modesto and Manteca is very slow with a crash, as well as the Tracy commute, which has been slow all morning long.
Here's what's next, coming up in 1 minute. From how to save on school supplies to student vaccines and readjusting to routines. A back-to-school guide for families. At 8:30, the ABC10 Plus recap, a look at the headlines you might have missed. Waking up slow today. Then your California Life comes around at 9. Then at 9:30, take a look. A deep dive into the Fantastic Four. First steps with our own Marcus Allen, who has been out here all morning long. So you want to check that out, too.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
And the weather is heating up again so that going to the movies will make sense again,
That's
right?
a great way to get free air conditioning, but you're going to pay for a ticket price, so it's not free. You get the point.
Good point. All right. Good stuff. All right, we want to take you outside. Thank you, of course, for watching. Our next news at 11. You are looking live at the Truckee Bypass. Traffic is very light. One